the right place, and hopefully you are here to stop guessing and start posting. I am so excited to be here. First of all, I'm just catching my breath. I don't know if you were at the award ceremony, but somebody surprised me with a few awards. Did that really happen? I don't even know if I could do this, you guys, because I'm floating in a cloud somewhere, so I might not be able to do this. But anyways, I'm Wendy Aguilar, and I am the Media and Communications Specialist for the Sacramento Fire Department, and I'm going to tell you all about stop guessing, start posting, and hopefully get you inspired to share Instagram Reels on your social media accounts. Okay, but first, it's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. Okay, this is not a Taylor Swift karaoke, I take it. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna bore you with my non-existing voice. But anyways, it's me. I'm Wendy Aguilar, Media and Communications Specialist, like I said, but I'm also a recovering journalist. Any recovering journalist in here? Yes! I see you. I see you. The struggle is real. We used to call it the dark side, but from where I'm standing, it's pretty bright. So we made it to the bright side, you guys. We're good. So I've been with the Sacramento Fire Department for 6.5 years, and I am grateful for the opportunity that they have given me because I don't have to get approval for my social media posts. I know it's hard to believe, and I know you guys are looking at me like, no wonder, because a lot of the times, finding that approval, getting your chiefs to say yes to something takes weeks, and sometimes it doesn't even happen. And by the time it happens, the trend is already like 3 years ago. So I've been very fortunate because of that, and I don't take that for granted. But all that said, I'm going to give you some tips to help you out because there's ways. Where there's a will, there's a way. And my QR code is there so you can connect with me and we can be friends and I can cheer for you and you can cheer for me and we can all just sing Kumbaya. I'm going to go buy a lotto ticket today because I think this is my lucky day and we're going to have a big party. So, also follow the Sacramento Fire Department because then I can say that our account is growing. So, yes, on all social media platforms, Sacramento Fire, and then, of course, our Twitter. I'm not going to call it X just yet, Sacramento Fire PIA. So, I handle all the social media platforms on the top, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those. And no, I don't have a big team. It's just me. I'm the problem. It's me. I did it again. Okay. Here we go. How it started. So when I started back in 2019 with the Sacramento Fire Department, we were at 23,800 followers. A lot of that account was incident driven. There was no real people that were being featured on our social media platforms. And that was a screenshot that I took on November 26, 2019. How I remember that because unfortunately that day we lost Tamara Thatcher. And I always remember that day. And I took it upon myself to always remember her and her legacy. And she always wanted to inspire the next generation of women in fire service. So a lot of the work that I do, I think about Tammy and the legacy that she created and how she wanted to inspire the world. So if I can leave you with something today, is to tell stories about people because it works, because it helps you connect with your community, and it really is powerful when you tell a story. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Yeah, I did that. So yes, that happened. 166,000 for our Instagram account, and in 2021, I started that TikTok account, and today when I was hearing all about that winner of that TikTok award, I thought, that sounds exactly like my account that I run, and when he said the stair climb, I knew that that was me, and I was still shocked. But anyway, 140,000 followers with our TikTok account, and the only thing that changed was real stories, real people, short, sweet, straight to the point, lots of video, lots of personality. And all of your agencies have personality, have real people, and everybody has a story. For my journalists out there, you know that everybody has a story. Given the right light, you can make that a social media content for your platforms.
it's less theatrical, there are still safer ways to show your ex that you moved on.
This Valentine's Day, you want to burn it up.
Not a burning house.
I did that. I did that in a couple of hours. So again, this is when you're fortunate enough that you don't have to get a ton of approval for these videos. Every once in a while, I will ask my boss, the chief, what do you think about this video? Is this okay? And if he says yes, then let's go. But anyway, have a little fun with your content. This is a perfect example of that. This video was so much fun to put together, and it was actually pretty easy. And I'm going to show you. First clip.
Think you can.
Okay, so clip number one. Here is clip number two. Dumpster. This one took a little bit.
Although it's less theatrical, there are still safer ways to show your ex that you moved on.
Okay, so we're telling the whole story in just 3 clips, and then it just so happened. Okay, here's one thing. If you have a pet, a dog, a cat, a bird, go find a squirrel somewhere. It doesn't matter. It always works. So it just so happened that that same day that I was shooting this video, the Sacramento Police Department is right next to us, and they had these therapy dogs that they brought for everybody to just have something to relax. And so I was like, can I borrow one of these cuties? And they said yes. And so that's how they ended up paid actors.
Not a burning house.
And so then the last clip, it was just that cuteness. And I heard you guys, like, you love that. So think about that when you're putting together your social media content. Borrow somebody's pet if you don't have one, because that's exactly what I did there. Okay, this is my editing software. Anybody familiar with Premiere Pro? Okay, I see some hands. It's not the easiest learning curve if you're going to do video editing with this. I've been editing video for 20, it's been that long. Yeah, 20 years. I started when I was like 5. But this is how I edit my long form videos. But this could be really intimidating for a lot of people because it really is hard. But I've got some news for you. You don't have to do that anymore. But first, I have a question for you guys. This is really going to be bad. I don't know why I'm doing this. Does anybody know what this is? Yes. Okay. I'm glad somebody said yes. This is actually a VHS tape, in case you're wondering. I know that ages me, and yes, that's me. But this is from high school, you guys, 3rd period, in case you don't believe me. And no, don't ask me what year. I'm not telling you. I embarrassed myself already. But that's how I started editing videos. So it was much, much harder back in the days. Now today, you don't have to worry about that. Because if you don't have the time, no problem. You don't have to edit in a fancy editing software or use this dinosaur here. You can do it all on your phone, okay? And I hear it all the time. A lot of us have this problem. Maybe not you guys, but a lot of people have these problems. No time, no clear strategy, no body. Okay, this one is really hard. When your management, your chiefs or deputy chiefs, whoever you report to, when they don't even have social media, or maybe they have a Facebook account that they communicate with their mom, they're not going to know what you're doing on social media. Whenever I go to those meetings and I say, this and all these stats, they're looking at me like, deer on the headlights, like, what are you talking about? We fight fire. I know it's hard to get that buy-in, but there are ways to get around that. And so hopefully my goal here today is to inspire you, to let you know that this is possible, to do social media content that inspires, that connects, and that continues to grow your agency, no matter what your agency is. And a lot of the times you have no idea what to post, and that could be really hard. And so Valentine's Day, I was just going to take it easy in the office that day and answer emails and go to all these meetings. And then I thought, what if we did a fun Valentine's video? And it worked. That video had over 170,000 views. It was pretty amazing. But it's also about creating those relationships with people people. I've done several videos with them before, and I always say this: don't just post and ghost. Don't leave them behind, not let them know what happened with that social media post. I usually reach out, send them an email, and say, hey, thank you so much for working with me on that social media post. That video is doing really well. Here it is. I send it to them because that gets views. They're going to send it with to their family and friends, and that really helps out. But then the next time I'm asking them for a video, they're more likely to say yes. I talked about the chasing of the trends. A lot of the times, by the time you get approval from your boss, that trend it's too late. You've already missed the mark. So a lot of that could be a problem. It could be a challenge for many of us, especially working in government social media. But breaking news, everyone. Breaking news. I'm gonna give you. You don't have to overthink it. If you have a phone, you can create this kind of content, and all you need is, like I said, your phone. You don't need a fancy production team to get this done or perfect lighting. A lot of the times people are like, oh, you must have all this equipment and all these tools. And I'm like, it's right here. It's my phone. So don't overthink it, especially because these social media platforms, when it comes to Instagram and TikTok, they actually are looking for a more unpolished, like not heavily produced social media content. That is what works. A lot of the times I'll spend hours and hours editing on Premiere Pro, which you know, if you know, you know. And I post that video and it gets like 250 views. Do you know how much time I spent editing that? And then sometimes that stair climb video that TikTok was talking about earlier today, it was a single clip. It's not even I think it's about 7 seconds long. There was nothing produced about that video, but it told a story. So don't overthink it, is what I want to say with that. Okay, short videos. Oh, by the way, Captain Hunter, is anybody familiar with Survivor, the show? Okay, there's a few. So he is one of our fire captains at Station 2, and he is currently on Survivor 50. He was on Survivor 48. Yeah. Oh, he's gonna love that. I'm gonna tell him that he's got fans here. So building those relationships and having consistency is also important. It doesn't matter if you're posting maybe once a week or twice, but whatever it is, stay consistent to that. It really does help to share those stories, and it's powerful. So powerful visuals help you tell that story. And I know you're thinking, well, I don't have firefighters, they don't wear fancy gear or anything like that, but you do have all of these things. You have people getting promoted. You have people being celebrated for the work that they're doing. Use that as your social media content. Why? Is because somebody is out there sitting and watching this and thinking, well, I could do that. I could be part of this. And I had a presentation earlier today about recruitment. And I can't tell you how many times I've sat as part of the panel to do these interviews. And a lot of the times what they're saying is, I love your culture. I've been able to see it on social media. Or I heard about this job opening on your social media. And that is a huge win. And do that. Share those with your community. It's important that you're sharing that and celebrating that, because it's good for the people that you celebrate it, because they get to see themselves as heroes, and everybody wants to see themselves. Community impact. What are your people doing in your community? What is the impact that they're doing in your community? And that happens every day, especially with government agencies. A lot of people in our agencies are doing incredible work. So make sure that you're highlighting them, that you're celebrating them. Behind the scenes, Station Life works magic. It's absolute magic, because people don't get to see what life looks like behind the scenes. They get to see them when they go into the fire, but they don't know what it's like to work at a fire station. What is that like? What do they do during 48 hours, sometimes even more than that? A lot of us don't go work 48 hours at a time with someone. And so when you get to highlight a little bit of that behind the scenes, it really is powerful. More than a couple years ago, I started the What's for Lunch video series because I was able to experience what it was like when everybody came together for lunch. And that was a really powerful series that first my deputy chiefs and chiefs were like, no, we don't want to do that. We fight fires. What are you talking about? But the thing is that for somebody who's sitting out there and wants to be part of this family environment, this really is a bonding moment. When you break bread with people, there's something really special that happens. And so when you're highlighting that behind the scenes that makes your agency special, it truly connects with people, and it really does magic. And if you get a chance, maybe watch that presentation so I don't worry the same people that were there earlier today with that. So this is an example of not overthinking it, not reinventing the wheel, and anyone can do this because I did not edit this. It's not several videos put together like the one that I showed you earlier. It's a single video clip, and this video alone had more than 10,000 views on TikTok. And it's that simple, and you guys can go produce that kind of video and get your 10,000 views on your social media account. And this was it. That was it, you guys. I don't know how that happened. It just did. But that's my boss, by the way, Chief Chris Costamagna. Hello to Chief Costamagna. He's the one swearing in our new members to our USAR team. So why is this exciting? These members have worked really, really hard to get to that point. This is a big moment for them. And when we share that, and then again, don't post and ghost, go back. I shared it with that Hoger because they were all on the calendar invite. So then I went back and I said, here's the video that I put together. And then, of course, I also do nice photos for them so they get to keep those as well. And so I send them the folder with their photos in this video. What are they going to do? They're going to share it on their social media accounts as well. So that does really well. And then, of course, take that opportunity to let your community know on your social media platforms. Please be sure to visit our website, joinsacfire.org, and learn about career opportunities, because you better believe there's somebody out there that is inspired by what they're seeing on your social media accounts. And again, your agencies, your people are doing incredible work, and all you have to do is put it out there. Okay, this is the video. Now I look at it with different light because this was the stair climb. And I did climb some of those stairs. Our firefighters climbed 110 stories on 9/11. And this is a video that if you work in a fire agency, especially this year, is going to be 25 years since the 9/11 attacks. And it is really powerful when you see something like this. And every time I go see this stair climb, it always, just for anybody who was around in 2001, whew, it's really powerful. And so I have a lot of respect for what they do and how they climb up there with their full gear. I didn't climb the whole thing, and I was out of breath filming this, but I decided to do one edited video for our Instagram account and one not edited video for our TikTok account. This one was the one that went on TikTok. 955,000 views on this single clip. That's how powerful it is. do have press conferences. I know that because that's what public agencies do. So don't tell me that you can't do these videos because I guarantee you that you can because you have press conferences. So this was a press conference that I did a couple months ago, and this video alone had about 80,000 views on Instagram alone, and it was just a press conference. And I could have just said like, oh, it's a press conference, the media came to cover it, we don't have to do anything else anymore. But I was there with my phone, and this thing has like a mind of its own, and it just kind of turns on its own sometimes, and I'm like, okay, I'm filming, okay, cool. So I put this video together, and it's a very short, sweet, straight to the point video, and I guarantee you that you have press conferences that you have done, that you have shared important information with your community. And don't let just the news own that story, because this is your story, this is your agency. So think about sharing that with your community from your own account, because it's really powerful. That's Dr. Mackey. Okay, so that's a press conference that we just had. There's nothing out of the ordinary in that press conference. That video alone is about 25 seconds long, and it does have several clips that I did put together, but I'm going to show you how easy it can be to put those together, so not to worry. So you're going to fire up your edits account. That's where I edit my videos most of the time, except for long format videos. I'm going to go on Premiere Pro. So the edits account is going to let you pick your clips that you're going to use. You're going to put them in the order that you want, and once you're happy with that order, you can still move them around. You can make them shorter, you can make them longer, and you can decide how you want this video to go. The most important thing that you have to do when you're editing video, start with your best picture. Whatever your best picture is, that's the picture that you want to start your video. See, that's how you just kind of grab them and you move them around. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing my vision because I'm on my phone editing this and these little clips. But that's how easy it is to make them shorter, make them longer. And you can add captions on there, which I know is really important nowadays to add those captions. You can do that. You can also speed up your video, and you can also slow it down. You can do all of those things right on that app. And the best case scenario is you don't have to film on a video like this. So you don't have to do that. And then you saw the clip for the audio. It says audio right on the bottom. You click on that. You can use trending audio. You can import your own audio as well. All kinds of neat things. And then once you're done with that, all you have to do, hit that big export button at the top, and then you're ready to go. It's going to send you directly to Facebook or Instagram, or you can download it as well and take it to another account. I'm not saying do it or do it, but it's a great way to multiply your reach and use your content for different platforms. So that's how easy. We just edited a video together. I know you guys feel so much better, and you're going to go and edit award-winning videos. All right, video 101. Because, like I said, when I was in college, I was editing a video like this. And so I've got some tips for you about how to film your video. So a lot of the times what happens is people just grab their phone, they go immediately to whatever setting is there, and you just start recording, and that's how you record most of your video. That can get really boring. So imagine you just went to the movies, and that movie that you're watching is filmed in the exact same wide angle. And we never got to see like emotional faces crying, or like somebody putting on their hat, or like all these emotional things, the details. That's what's important about video producing. So I've got a little trick for you. Most of you probably have a newer phone. Oh, this is 3 cameras here. These are the 3 angles that you're going to need when it comes to filming video. If you think you're close, get closer. So how does that work? So for example, a video of this presentation here would be kind of boring if we just did the one angle and we just showed that wide shot. The way that we would do it is we would have a video from the back, shows the whole room, we set the scene, right? And then we get a little bit closer. So what could we get shot of that person. And then we get even closer. Like maybe when you hold my hand like that, or maybe somebody writing notes down. You get them writing those notes. And that is what's really going to make your video pop. That's what makes the difference. That's what makes you look like a pro. So you want to do it. And my college professor always said, if you think you're close, get closer. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I know, you're like, what does that look like? You set the scene. So this is the white shot that I'm talking about. You see that there's a press conference going on there. You see the cameras, you see the podium, you see them all lined up, all serious, ready to go. And then we get a little bit closer. Now we just see Dr. Mackey out there giving his important information to the cameras. And then we see the shot of the blood that this is not real blood. I don't want anybody defamed. I know I work for the Sacramento Fire Department, but I can't save you if something happens. That's not real blood. Please don't faint. So then you get even closer and you show that shot. And if you can create a sequence of videos that goes like that, you are going to win production every single time because it really helps you tell that story and bring your viewer in. So yeah, those are all the video clips that I did. I don't know why I wrote that either, but anyway, you get the idea. Who's ready for another pro tip? Okay. Templates, trending audio, built-in editing tools, captions, and there's a lot of real inspiration out there with Instagram. So when you see something that sticks out, something that inspires you, save it. Save it because you can always use it for later. Those templates can be really, really helpful, especially if you haven't done video editing before. That could really save you every time. A lot of the videos that I do with the Sacramento Fire Department, on the bottom, it will say edits or put together on edits, whatever that is. It'll have a little logo that says edits, and it takes you into that template. So a lot of the times with creators, when we're creating these videos out there, it leaves kind of like a footprint behind that you can use for your own agency. And so you don't have to reinvent the wheel again, because you can just go and use those templates. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Okay, there it is. Oh, made with edits. Why did I forget that? Anyway, right there on the bottom of that video is going to tell you that it was made with edits. So use that because it's going to take you directly. A lot of the times it'll take you directly to that template, and then you can use that to create your video. And it'll have the same time cuts that you can just input your video into. Another thing that always works too is on the second video over there, you have that ACDC with the little arrow pointing up. That means that that audio is trending. So you want to use that audio because it's going to really help that video get to a bigger audience and really promote that. Okay, so this is a template. This is what that looks like. So say with your agency, or with many of us, we wear different hats every day and we're doing all kinds of things. Like all of a sudden I'm a website expert. What? Yeah, anyway, I just got that email. Don't even get me started there. But yes, I'm apparently a web expert. But a lot of the people that you work with, or even yourself, are handling multiple things at once. So I found this video, and it's actually for LA Fitness. I don't know how it came up. Maybe it was trying to tell me something. I need to go to the gym. Anyway, enough about me. I found that video, but I thought it was really interesting of how this person wears the different hats. And when I hit the template, it says right there, use that template. When I hit that template, it takes you right into the Edits app, and then you can edit that exact video, but input your people. And obviously, you would change it to your people and whatever fits your agency. So there it is, taking me there. And then you can even edit the text that's on there. So it's already there. Again, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. All the clips are there. They're already timed perfectly with the music. And all you have to do is then enter that in there, change the text as you see it fit, and just either film those videos with your people or take those photos, and voila, you have an award-winning video. That's what I always tell people whenever I'm trying to convince them. You have to do this video. So when I went for the Valentine's Day, hey guys, you're ready to do an award-winning video? And today I didn't lie, so that's kind of cool. I guess put it out there into the universe. At the end of the day, you have to look at the inside of your agency. Whatever is working for you, continue to do that. And if something isn't working, maybe move on. I'll tell you what isn't working for my agency or probably any other agency out there. Flyers. I hear the stress, yes. Do people still come up to you and say, can you post this flyer? Oh yeah, oh, the struggle is real. I have PTSD whenever I see a flyer. I think we've overseen those, especially during 2020. There was way too much flyers going on. I don't know in what language I need to explain this, and I speak English, Spanish, and a little bit of Italian, and I can't convince people to stop sending me flyers. These things don't work. But what I do now is I send them insights. Like, look at how your flyer is doing. It's not. Okay, so that's really powerful. So all that to say is that all this information that I'm giving you, at the end of the day, use whatever works for your agency. A lot of the times what happens is there's all these trends and we want to go in there and get into that trend and the latest music or the latest dance or the latest whatever it is, but think about your agency first. I would never ask anybody to do something that I don't want to do, like dancing. I don't want to do that. Sometimes people volunteer to do that. Do as you will. But all I'm saying is make sure that you're really looking into this, because this will give you an indication of what is working. So what is working for the Sacramento Fire Department? Instagram Reels. And what happens with Instagram Reels is that those are being fed out to people that are not even following you. And that's how you start to increase your followers. That's how you get that momentum going, because you want to increase those numbers. So, when in doubt, if you have nothing to post, and I know I've said this before, they always work. I wish that I had a pet that I could just have with me all the time, because it really does work. But it has that emotional support, emotional connection. And the other thing too is, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but people have very strong thumbs out there. They're scrolling all day long, and so you want to stop them in their tracks. And so that's what you're trying to do with your agency. Make sure that, again, that first video clip that you put out there is your most powerful video, that it's really going to stop people and look at your account and hopefully follow your account to see what you're doing. And the other thing you have to think about too when you're sharing social media content is you're informing people, you're educating people, or you're inspiring people. A lot of the times, think about the things that you're sharing with your friends. They inspire you, they make you laugh, they give you something that makes you want to share that content. So think about that when you're producing social media content. If it fits into any of those categories, it's most likely going to do well on your social media platforms. A lot of the times, again, with flyers, there's nothing human about flyers. I don't know. I guess maybe if you have an award-winning photo that just, no, still is not doing it for me. Videos, photos, that's what really works, and that's what really makes your agency human. People, stories first. So think about that. And if you don't believe me, just ask that guy. Does anybody know who that is, that monkey? I know, Punch. I wonder how Punch is doing these days. But the whole world was talking about Punch. I didn't even know who, what. I just went on Google one day and I put Punch, and all these little monkeys were flying around. I was like, what? This is amazing. So if you don't believe me, trust me, Punch is kind of a big deal. It works every time. If you cannot come up with anything for your social media, definitely use pets. It works every time. Here it is. This is one of my favorite videos. the other thing too is when you're writing these stories, have fun with them. I always pretend like I'm a writer of like a children's book, and I'm like, okay, Smokey was feeling brave that day, ran back into the house to get a few things that the owners forgot, and then got trapped inside the home, and then firefighters from the Sacramento Fire Department came in there and found Smokey in the back of the living room and came out with Smoke. It wasn't really like that, but it was something like that. But have fun with that. This is really easy content to write to, and it's a lot of fun actually. So again, go find yourself a cat or a dog. I should be bringing a pet when I do these presentations. Note to self, maybe a bird that I could just have here. That would be amazing. All right, that's me. Make sure to connect with me. Follow me on social media and let's get connected on there. We have some time for questions as well. My friends call me the Reels Queen, but you can just call me Wendy. And before you leave, I'd love to get your business card in here. I have a raffle. I have some patches and some things that I'd love to give to someone. So please be sure to do that. And then we have some questions.
We have one question that came in on the app, which was how do you get the firefighters to agree to participate in your videos?
Okay, so that is the $1 million question. How do I get firefighters to participate in these videos? That is the question that comes up all the time whenever I'm doing social media content. Here's the thing though. The lucky part about what I do too is that we are a big agency, over 700 members between our sworn and our professionals. But at the end of the day, it's relationships. It's building those relationships. Like I said, don't post and ghost. Really have those relationships because you don't want it to feel transactional. You want to feel like you're a team. And so a lot of the times I'll go back, give them feedback, or sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, did you see the comments on here? People really love that video. They're really connecting with the community and they love that. And another thing that happens too, a lot of the times people are really nervous and they're like, oh my God, I'm not a camera person. There's this one deputy chief, he's like, face for radio, Wendy, I'm not doing any of your social media. But what happens with that is when you give them feedback and you really let them know how powerful, how great people received it, it builds their confidence. So next time they're like, oh, I wasn't so bad. And then another thing too is really try to do your best. And I know that you guys are all going to make your agency look their best. You're not going to try to set anybody up, but really try to get them in a good light. And that really goes a long way. I have one of our deputy chiefs, and every other word is an and I was doing a long video for this chief, and I took all of those out because I wanted the story to flow nicely, and I also wanted to make it shorter, and all those ums were preventing me from that. So I took those out, and then when the chief saw it, I was like, oh my God, I actually sound better than I thought, and I was like, yeah, you do. So a little bit goes a long way, which that wasn't a little bit, but anyways, you get it. Try to do your best and make them look good.
Hi, my name is Heidi Yoakum. I'm from the city of Berkeley. My question for you today is, what would you recommend to somebody who wants to do, let's say, a behind-the-scenes series? When you run the idea by your boss, they decide that they wanted to, before approving it, it needs to be a full series, and then they want to see and improve your scripts before doing it. What would you recommend?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's a fully loaded question. What would you do when they're asking you to do a full series, when you came to them for an idea?
Just one idea.
And then they want to give you feedback. You know, I guess I can relate with the What's for Lunch video series. They didn't want to do it. And so maybe it's a give and take situation where you're like, okay, I will do this, but can you maybe there's some kind of negotiating that happens, and I've had to do that a couple times where, for example, with that series, they didn't want to do it, and I was just like, just give me a chance to do a few of these and let's see where they go. And so the second one that I did was like Station 19, and I used the hashtag Station 19, so I think that's why it blew up. 3.5 million views or something crazy like that. So maybe it's ask them to give you a chance to try it your way, and then maybe if that doesn't work, maybe we can try it your way, some kind of negotiation, give and take, maybe.
Wendy, one in the back here.
Yes.
Hi, Wendy. Sean Quinn, City of Bothell, fellow recovering journalist. Thank you for putting the lunch on, by the way.
Oh, yay.
Question for you
example, we have a community development department that just wants to put infographics out for their economic vitality plan, or firefighters, we've got an annual fire report, and it's a PDF, but we want to make it, we don't want to post a PDF, right? So we want to make it more exciting. So how do you get buy-in from the staff and your firefighters if you're starting kind of from scratch in a way? Thank you.
The struggle is real. I'm just in pain just listening to that. That can be really hard. However, I will say this. There's a lot of younger generation firefighters out there who really get it. They have grown up with these social media platforms, so they understand. And so what I would say is try to use the people that get it, because they're going to shine anyway. If you get a boring chief who's going to stand like this and talk like, today at the Sacramento Fire Department, we did this, it's not really going to work. So I think that the best thing that I could say is work with the people. There's outliers in every agency. And a lot of the times too, this one works for me, is I'll go to one station and I'll report of how the other station did. And I don't know about you guys or your agencies, but firefighters are really competitive. And so I went to station 2 and I told them, station 19 over there had 3.5 million views. What can you do? And all of a sudden, it really changes the game because they want to win. So that could be a powerful way to kind of get them to buy into that. And then the other thing is I try to lean into the helpers. Look for the helpers. I always like to say that because there's a ton of people out there that might not want to be part or the face of your social media content, but they know people. So for example, with me, I have really good relationships that I built with our battalion chiefs, and so I just check in with them. Same thing we did when we were reporters and doing our beat, like, hey, anything happened last night? What's going on? What's the latest news? So that kind of same thing, right? So if I have a month bike safety, for example, hey chief, do you have any bikers? Anybody that can help me put this video together? He's like, sure, I'll take you to that station. And coming from a chief, you're really not going to say no to the chief. So use that to your advantage.
Wendy, we'll do one more question
Okay.
from our